So here we are with the Töörö by Fred's Lab. It's a polyphonic 6-voice 4-part digilog synth, and digilog means that it has it has 2 digital oscillators that go through an analog filter here, so it has that particular sound. I enjoy using this with the Roland SP404 and my Digitone because it gives those extra voices for like a mobile music production setup. It's just 4 extra voices and it's very hands-on. Minimal screen. Obviously you see this whole matrix for controlling the different parameters. And I'm going to get into the matrix after we put together a little loop where we can demonstrate some of the sounds and some of the polyphony you can get out of this, because it's 6 voice maximum, but it's 4 different instruments at once, so 4 different parts. So I'm going to send MIDI to it from Ableton, and we're just going to write a little loop, see how it sounds. So we're going to start with the little bell part. Let's go. All right, let me fix that up. Boop. That'll work. And now we're gonna have a little bass part. So I'm gonna go to the second, the first part. It's called a part in the Töörö, the instruments. So I do that by holding system, and then I can go through my parts. And I'm on part 1 now. So any change I make on the matrix here will affect the first instrument. All right. All right, let's go. All right. Boop. And now I'll make a change to the sound on the matrix here. So I think I'm going to filter it a bit more. Let's go to part 3. Is that part 3? I'm confused. Sounds the same as our other part here. And it is the same. Okay, so we'll fill in part 3 in a second. Let's go to part 4, which I think is some horn sounds. Yeah, all right, here we go. Just keep it like that, simple. Move this over. Okay, obviously need to extend this loop. Oh, here we go. Our loop needs to start at the beginning. Forgot I started on an offbeat for that first one. Okay, there we go. All right, so now let's find a part 3 that fits with this. So I'm going to switch to part 3. So now I'm going to switch through the different instrument presets by just pressing this preset button is one way to do it. You can also hold system and do it this way. probably something higher. So the arpeggiator's on for this one, you can tell. So if I want to change things about the arpeggiator, I hit this button, and then the arp is here, so I can change these two. And then I'll add some filter noise and change the envelope to be a little more rhythmic. Whoa. Okay. So the reason why it sped up and went so crazy there is that when I wasn't pressing play, Ableton wasn't sending it sync. It just listened to itself. But if there's ever any sort of MIDI clock coming into here, it's going to listen to that. So when I press play on Ableton, it syncs up automatically. And there's not a setting you change. It's just how it is, which is kind of nice. Here we go. And we'll go like here to here. Make sure all this is quantized or else it won't, the arpeggiator will get confused. Come on. Here we go. Oh, come on. As you can see, I'm not doing great here with the shortcuts. There we go. Alright, so the reason why it's cutting out like that is because we're reaching our 6-voice maximum. I mean, it's kind of cool. It sounded more in time or something. And then let's pan it. So to pan it, I'm going to hold System, or no, I'm going to press Alt, and like, if you press Alt, you access all the white text everywhere. So this is pan for this part. So I'm just going to pan it slightly. And if you're wondering what numbers are happening here, it's a hexadecimal system, so you kind of have to know that. And then I'm just going to add some drums. Let's shorten the loop and probably quantize it. And then add a snare right there. I think we can just do this one loop. Make it simple. Add the clap at the end. And to make it all groove a little more, I'm just gonna put a sidechain compressed compressor on the Töörö, coming from the kick drum. I'll go through and mute the different parts so you can hear them. And so there are our horns. Now if I want to add a effects to these horns, I can do it right here on the last page. Here's the mix for the effects. So now it's mono. I guess the effects were fully on it. So let me go to, I think I saved it with the effects on it. Chill. I wouldn't necessarily use the Töörö with all its polyphony happening at once. Like if I'm using the SP404, I would probably write the part and then sample it into the SP404 and then, just add it as a layer. But with the digitone, I suppose I would use them all at the same time. But, with the digitone, you have 4 other synth voices, so you don't need to use it. You might just use it for pads, like six voice polyphony for a pad or something for 7th chords. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I guess I'll just go through now and explain a little bit more about how it's structured and how it works. Each point on this matrix has like 3 layers of depth. Let's pick this point. So that would be its oscillator 1, because this LED is red. If I do that, it's oscillator 2. But if it's red, we're working in oscillator 1 now in here. So now it's the coarse tuning. So if I go, what part am I at? Here, let's go to part 2. And then just so we can hear it, and I'll go to part 2 in here. So I can change the coarse tuning of one of the oscillators. Now if I hit Alt, I think I said this already, but if I hit Alt, now I can access the white text here, which is like the fine tuning of oscillator 1. So that's how this works. And if I go to filter, now I've got the cutoff, the resonance, the envelope amount coming in, and then a noise oscillator as well. So, and then the envelopes, it works the same way. And the LFO, this one's a little funky because you can see there's a split here in the color. See the brown splits? That's because the ARP and the LFOs aren't really related as one thing, whereas all of these are. But there's a split here, so this is your arpeggiator and these are your LFO. It just happens to be on the same row, but it's not related in any way like that. So like I said, you can browse presets like I did, but for these 4 different parts, you can set different presets obviously to each one, and then you can save those as a multi. When you save a multi, it saves all of the preset data and the effects data, the panning, and you have, I think, 9 multi slots. I'm not going to shift multis right now because I haven't saved this current one. Well, let me try saving it. So if I hold Alt and I hold this, now I'm saving multi 2. So now I clicked out of Alt and it shows me what preset I'm on currently. So now I'll change the multi. I'll play the track but change the multi, and you can hear how it changes. Yikes. Now any effects changes I do will affect all the presets at the same time, all of the parts at the same time. So the effects can't be bussed to certain voices. It doesn't work like that. Or the voices can't be bussed to the effects in different amounts. Like your bass, if you're going to put a lot of like delay and feedback on a lead line, you're going to have a lot of that on your bass if you're trying to use it polyphonically in that sort of like song arrangement way. So let's try messing with the effects. So if I go to the last thing here, which is the amp, which also has the multi-effects, so amp and then to the multi-effects. If I go to Alt mode to access the white text and I go to mode, you've got stereo, chorus. So let's listen to chorus. It sounds so ridiculous. I'll go back to the multi we were on. So here's this system button. Hit that and you access all this. And so I'm going to go to multi and go to 2. So this should be our original pattern. Yeah, but the ARP didn't save for, I think, is that part 3? So let's go, if I can change that. And I added some noise. That's cool. Okay. So now say I want this cutoff frequency to move with an LFO. Well, how I do that is over here in the sources. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit LFO 1, and so there's 2 sources per button. So you press the Alt button to access the secondary sources. So right now I pressed LFO 1, so now this program light is on. So now I'm going to go to my filter, which I'm on. So now all I have to do is switch the knob of the effect I want to change and in which sort of direction. So I'm going to do that, and let's hear how that sounds. A lot better. So now I'll go to LFO 1, and I'm no longer in program mode, so I'll change the speed of LFO 1. I know I'm on LFO 1 because the LED is red. So let's change the speed. Now it's like self-oscillating. So you can see it's a powerful little box, and I think it's sort of overlooked because of its DIY vibe, but it's really well thought out. It's really solid. It comes with a great little, look at this, that's quality right there. Really solid little carrying case. If you get the Töörö, I wish you all the best luck with your adventures with it. Thanks so much for stopping by. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe for me. My name's Evan Thompson, and I will see you next time.